Hi guys, welcome to this edition of Earnings Express. HDFC Bank has just reported its numbers. It's the first quarterly numbers that the bank is reporting post its merger with HDFC, and the numbers are not comparable both on a YY and QOQ basis. So the profits have come in at 15,976 crore rupees, whereas the NII has come in at 27,385 crore rupees. To put into perspective how the numbers have really panned out, I have with me Manish Suvarna, who's from our banking bureau, joining in to decode the numbers for us and to also tell us what to expect from the management call that's going to happen in a few minutes from now. Manish, profits have come in at 15,976 crore rupees vis-a-vis expectations of 14,780 crore rupees. So basically, it's a beat on that front, but of course the numbers are not comparable both on a QOQ and YY basis, right? So take us through the first cut as to how the profits have panned out. Looks like it's a beat, and what has happened in terms of the net interest income.
Okay, so as you mentioned that the numbers are not comparable, but still we can see the stellar performance by the HDFC Bank as we have seen the 15,976.11 crore growth. So basically it was aided by the net interest income which the bank has reported. As you mentioned, the net interest income growth was around 30% on year, and it was also aided by the net revenue of the bank. So basically these two figures have panned out good for the bank even after the merger, and this was the first numbers they have reported after the merger, and the 50% growth is actually good, and going ahead we can expect very good numbers if there is the very much growth in the net interest income.
Right. So basically net interest income is a tad below street expectations, right? What are you picking on the margin? What are you picking up on the margin front, given the fact that the carrying forward of excess liquidity, RBI's ICRR move, etc., could have had an impact. In fact, Nomura had already flagged off that HDFC Bank could see pressure on the margins for the not just for this quarter but for the coming 2 to 3 quarters. But I really don't have the figure with me right now. But what are you picking up? Do you think the margins on the margin front we've seen a big hit, or do you think there is no negative surprise there as well?
I think we have to see in the management comments how these margins are going to pan out, because yes, definitely each and every bank, not only HDFC but other banks also had an impact on their margins because of the ICRR, because it has sucked out almost 1 lakh crore liquidity from the system. So definitely that has felt banks no funds with the banks to lend in the market, so that has actually compressed the margins, and now we have to see that what the margins are in the management comments.
Right. Of course, we'll also be watching out for the management commentary on cost of funds going forward. But talk about the asset quality. Has there been a big impact there, or do you think the impact has been marginal, and the worst of the impact of the merger is behind us, and from here on we could see numbers improving going forward?
Yeah, as of now we have seen in the reporting quarter the asset quality has deteriorated, but it was marginally. But going ahead, if the merger, as we seen, the merger has panned out very well, and going ahead, if there is no pressure on the margins or net interest income, or there is no slippages, then definitely we could see improvement in the margins. As well as in this quarter also we have seen the provisions of the bank has actually improved, because the numbers are very less compared to the previous quarter, previous year, means in the similar period last year. But in the previous quarter it was marginally compared to previous quarter, it was marginally higher in this quarter. But still we can see going ahead the provisions can be lower, and asset quality can be improved, because as of now we have seen only 11 basis point increase, so maybe it could improve going ahead when all the processes and everything like related to loans and everything in the bank will turn out good.
Right. Talk to us about the loan growth that was expected to be strong for the bank, and that was expected to drive profits. But now that the profits are up 50%, give us some color on how the loan growth has panned out for HDFC Bank.
Actually, the loan growth and the deposits have panned out really well for the bank, because in the loan growth as well as in the deposit, after the merger we have seen 1 lakh crore increase in the deposit as well as in loan growth, because as we see the numbers after the merger and in this quarter, the deposits stood at around 21.73 lakh crore, which is almost increase of 30% on year, and in the Advances also we have seen a good growth, and the numbers stood at 23.55 lakh crore in the reporting quarter. And in the deposit front also, in the CASA deposit grew 7.6% in this quarter. And if we see in the deposits also, there are two types, the current account and the saving account. So in the saving account deposit stood at 5.7 lakh. That is actually a good number for the bank, and the current account also have a good number like 2.48 lakh crore. So I think these numbers are going to be the good watcher going ahead in the upcoming quarters, as the merger has already taken place.
Aside of margin commentary, aside of commentary on cost of funds, what is it that you specifically would be looking out for from the management press?
I think if we talk about the cost of funds, that is definitely going to be higher, because as we have seen in the bond market, the bond yields have gone up. So treasury gains will be going to be in the pressure. So definitely that will be the focus area for the banks, because that is ultimately going to affect the overall profitability of the bank, as well as the margins of the bank, because of the liquidity. Now the liquidity has very tightened, and RBI has said that they are going to be they are going to bring the OMO. So definitely the liquidity is going to be tight. So that is going to impact the treasury gains of the bank, and that ultimately impacts the profitability of the bank. So these two, I think, things will be the key watch in the pressure, as well as the unsecured loans. We should not forget.
Right, yeah, I was going to ask you about that, Manish. Of course, since you track the banking sector so closely, the RBI had, of course, flagged off the growth in personal loans, especially the unsecured ones. What is it that the RBI knows that we don't know, and why was he like suddenly warning the banking system?
I think we
to
cannot
keep a tight leash on unsecured?
We cannot predict. Even the market don't know what RBI knows. But still, the growth, whatever we have seen in the personal loan or the unsecured lending, but it's very exponential. But there are some experts who are saying that it is coming on the low base, but still the growth is very high. And in the past, we have seen during such higher growth, there are some bubble creating, and that bubble burst, and it had a domino effect on the other banks or other segment also. So I think that needs to be taken very carefully, and we should
because that could pose a risk to the asset quality of banks going
Correct.
forward, right? Which is why the RBI has flagged off this risk. But I think with that we could we've actually covered all the aspects of the HDFC Bank's quarterly show. Of course, we will be watching out for the management press conference, or the call that will be happening shortly from now. But for now, no negative surprises coming in from HDFC Bank. There has been a slight a worsening of asset quality, not that alarming, and which is something that should reflect in the stock price tomorrow. Of course, for that we'll have to wait and watch out for 9:15 a.m. Tomorrow morning when the markets open. But for now, it looks pretty good, and of course we will be getting you the coverage on the press conference that will be starting minutes from now. But for now, from Manish, thanks a lot for taking out time and joining me and putting into perspective what the numbers really look like. And to all our viewers, thanks a lot for tuning in. Of course, we will be getting you live coverage of the presser. Don't forget to tune in for that. But for now, it's a goodbye from me. Thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned to Money Control for all your other news and updates.